Hi guys, and welcome to the TruGolf Academy. You've joined me, Jon Watts, today at Drayton Park Golf Club. What I want to do a video on today is swing thoughts. And I want to go on to a point of whether they should be internal or external. So I'm going to explain the difference between them and then try and find out what's going to be best for you to take to the golf course. If you don't already, all the social media info you need for the TruGolf Academy is coming along the bottom of the screen right now. So check us out on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Do post some comments of videos you'd like to see, topics you'd like me to cover, any questions you have. It's great to make them a bit more relevant to you, the viewers. So anything you've got to add is most welcome. So please get in touch with those. So what we're going to be talking about is swing thoughts, whether they should be internal or external. So let me go on to explain those two parts first. And it is very much like it sounds. So for instance, if I was slicing the ball, on an out to in swing path, so for a right-handed golfer, hitting shots that are excessively curving to the right and missing right of target, the likelihood is with that swing pattern I'd be hitting pulls as well. So if that's you, perhaps listen up carefully to these next couple of bits. So an internal swing thought would be me focusing on perhaps the right elbow staying tighter to my right hip as I start the downswing. Or it may be that I'm trying to focus on my lead knee pushing out towards the target to actually start my downswing with my lower body. Now both those points would be very relevant and very good to actually start my downswing with the club dropping a little bit more behind me, more on an in to out path rather than starting my downswing with an out to in. The external swing thought would be outside of my body, so maybe picturing how the club approached the golf ball. So what you could do, especially on the tee box, and I'll just show it to this camera here, is you could draw a line on the ball, point the line where you want to go, and imagine you're actually hitting the inside edge of that line, the inside of the golf ball, as if we're swinging more in to out. So we're getting a path going more this way rather than that way. We could put maybe a dot on the golf ball, colour in one of the dimples instead, so we're focusing on that part. So it's focusing on the club swinging from the inside. Another external swing thought for a fader or slicer that would work really well would be if they imagine a clock face with the target being 12 noon. The feeling is that the swing is going more out towards 10 past or 1 or 2 p.m. rather than to the left out to win, which should be 10 to or 10 or 11 a.m. So that way. So an external swing thought is outside your body, focusing on which part of the ball you're going to strike or how the club's going to be swinging more to the right. Something a little bit different. I've really had success with one golfer before who played cricket at quite a good level. And he got out of his fade and slice by more focusing on swinging towards offside instead of leg side. So it doesn't have to be golf related, but that would be an external swing thought rather than internal, focusing on my elbow, my hip, my hand, my wrist, my whatever it might be. Now, as I said, there's no wrong or right. You'll get successful golfers and rounds of golf where you're focusing on maybe more of an internal, maybe more of an external. I would always give people some cues to focus on what their body's doing in practice. So if I was working with a slicer, I might be working more on their elbow position or how their lower body initiates the downswing. But I think it's much easier when you're playing golf out on the golf course to really use it as more of an external swing thought. So the second part, as I said, which part of the ball we're trying to hit, put it more into a feeling of which way the club's swinging. So on the course, I think it's much, much easier to use an external swing thought rather than an internal. So I'm going to go ahead and give that a go. I'm going to use that line on the ball. Wrong one. So I'm going to go with an external swing thought. For those faders and slices, I'm going to be imagining I'm swinging more to the right. So I've got the line pointing down my target, but I'm going to imagine I'm swinging more towards 10 past or 1 or 2 p.m. and see if we can create more of a draw pattern, or don't mind seeing a push from there. So let's give this a go. I've clicked on that, I've got a driver. Let me just change the club for a second. So I've got a 7-iron in my hand. So I'm going to try and use, imagine I'm on the course, more that external swing thought. Imagine I'm clock face position, I'm swinging more to the right of the target, more 10 past. Pretty good ball flight, so very close to being a draw, a ball flight that started right and stayed there, but that will definitely be from an in to out path. Pretty good numbers actually, I'm happy with those. So I swung in to out by 1.5 degrees. The reason the ball didn't draw back is the club face was 2 degrees open. But the numbers there look really, really good. So I'll just share with you, I guess, what is my swing thought. Just to finish up with, so I tend to hit down onto the golf ball too much. So with irons I can get too steep, flight the ball too low, and I can easily be hitting down on the ball by 6 or 7 degrees. When I get that, I tend to get a lower fade. It definitely loses me distance as well. So for me, I actually feel like I'm hitting up on the ball when I get a figure more like that, which is 3 degrees on the way down. So personally, I like to feel like I'm trying to stay a little bit more behind the ball, and I feel like I'm trying to actually swing a little bit more upwards. So I try and feel like I'm a little bit more behind the golf ball and swinging more up, which works really well for me, means I can take it to the golf course. Let's just hit one more with me using that swing thought. Again, you can see it's not overly technical. I'm just feeling like I'm staying a little bit behind the golf ball and hitting a little bit more on the way up. I'm actually hitting on the way down, it's just less on the way down. Now, apart from the fact the club face is open and the strike wasn't good, the angle of attack felt pretty good to me. I don't think that would be too much on the way down. Yeah, so pretty good numbers for me. 3 degrees on the way down rather than 5, 6, 7 degrees. Swing path in to out. Again, it was just a heel strike. You can see a terrible strike, and the club face a little bit open. But that's for me a little bit on swing thoughts. I would definitely try and experiment around with external swing thoughts rather than internal when you're playing golf. I don't think there's anything wrong with focusing on body positions in practice, getting the right feeling, but try and keep it quite simple on the course. External swing thoughts will really help you do that. If that video's helped you, please do give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for all the other content every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, and do post some comments below. Cheers guys, we'll see you soon.